horizon. Wyatt Branch saddles onto his John Deere tractor on a hilltop in the Fuji orchard and watches a crop of walls, beams, and roofs root below him in a field cleared of the gala trees that called it home for nearly 150 years. Apple Estates, the sign says. Shit! Wyatt's wiry, tart as a Granny Smith's core. He pulls a nip of Jack Daniels from a gnarled silver flask, first sipped by Branches who planted the orchards, and embedded brass buttons from their Union Army blues in the cider mill's foundation. The last of their blood flows through Wyatt's veins. Fall once found Wyatt's bullish body wrapped in buckskin, head covered by thick twirls of strawberry gorse pulled tight into a ponytail. Autumn chill arrived early this year with sniffles, itchy sweaters, a ski cap low over weedy straw, and a bitter winter forecast by Farmer's Almanac. His nose is an overripe zucchini, mottled and runny, and if Wyatt had somewhere unspoiled to go, he'd run too. He squeezes the slippery honker dry, flings the flingable off his brambly fingers, and, as if applying liniment on a horse's back, soothes what's left into the deer's vinyl seat. For 40 years, the chipped-up tractor's been the companion he's known like himself. Lumpy seat, cranky starter, dirty oil, foul exhaust, and faithful. He pilots the deer to the Pink Lady orchard. Golden Delicious grew there until black rot 4 years back. Same year cancer took Kate. He tried everything. Agriculture experts from Rutgers, pruners, prayers, bathers, feeders, even experimental chemical sprayers. But the leaves curled with canker, the sweet, sweet cores rotted, and the Goldens passed from the orchard. He spits on a Pink Lady cull, rubs it till it blushes on his flannel, checks for wormholes and bites deep, crisp, sassy, perfumed, and orchard ready for picking. Wyatt walks to the thick stump of a hickory felled by an ice storm 2 winters ago. He unbuttons his fly, reaches for his John Henry and pisses, then pulls another shot of Jack Daniels to distract him from the smoky brown color marking blood in his urine. Even if the piss flows bright red and pain hurts till he screams, even if his heart races him awake late at night and doses him with fear, he'll never let doctors treat him the way they treated Kate. Wyatt's practice is to dynamite stumps and dig the roots out with a backhoe, but not this hickory. It had never known another home. It had been the big tree on the property, bark thick as cork. As a young boy, Wyatt crouched and stayed quiet while deer ate leaves from its lower branches, and fox, rabbit, squirrels, chipmunks, wild turkey, and wood ducks shook its limbs to get at nuts. After the ice storm, he chainsawed the trunk into thick logs, inserted wedges, and swung his wood splitter's maul. Now dry, gray, and seasoned, he adds 1 or 2 pieces to each fire, enough hickory smoke to spread a faint barbecue flavor over his land. He rooted cuttings from the fallen boughs and planted them near Kate's grave, but the saplings withered as if the earth had run out of energy. Wyatt hears the huskies barking in their pen at the mill. Kate had always picked the names, the Samoyeds, Burton and Taylor, yellow labs, Lucy and Ricky. Now the Siberians, Peaches and Herb. Wyatt still thinks in pairs. He high-steps deer droppings, kicks culls, curses a backhoe-laying pipe in what had been a cornfield at the Burn farm, swats a fat fall fly, rips another hit of Jack, mounts the deer, and heads to the mill for pectin, pulp, and pups. He finds his old friend Clay Potts near the cider press, his rusty sideburns sneaking under a yellow caterpillar cap sullied with enough dirt to germinate seeds. Clay's like a Rome, late maturing, slightly acid, and cheeks dappled with rosacea. Wyatt trusts Clay as much as he trusts himself, which means not quite entirely. They 4-H'd together as kids and served a Vietnam tour as Army munitions experts. After the war, Wyatt and Kate's life germinated. The I-287 interchange sprouted in Clay's asparagus field. Condo blight killed farms. Kate died. Wyatt met Jack Daniels, and his furry ears wrinkled like apple halves soaked in Agent Orange. Wyatt opens a hatch and funnels clean fruit from the apple scrubber to a bin on the back of the cider press. Today's pressing will be different, and not just because the Stamen wine saps are finally ripe enough for the mix. He punches the start button and, for the first time, cider trickles from the press into a pasteurizer. Heating coils singe the rouge gold nectar. The steamy hiss of sweet branch character boiling away bores deep into Wyatt's gut. He considers rigging the intake hose to his John Henry instead of the press, figuring the pasteurizer might purge the blood from his piss and get the purified stuff back to his bladder. State found E. coli at Burlnap's mill, Wyatt says, ordered cider mills to pasteurize. Figures it'd show up at Dopey Burl's place, says Clay. Builds a cider mill over the Delaware and forgets rats live in pilings. They must party in his fruit every night. Aroma escaping the pasteurizer delivers a verdict to Wyatt's schooled nose. He hands Clay a Dixie. Your chief taster, he says. Clay ceremoniously imitates the snooty New York sommelier Kate found to brainstorm making hard cider. She would have called it brass button apple. He sniffs, sips, sloshes, gargles, spits, and cogitates. Plain old juice, might as well be Mott's, but you won't have to wash the fruit anymore or sort out the culls. Wyatt's seen it all, chemicalizing and cauterizing, burning, boiling, and bombing, slashing, ripping, and radiating. If I can't make real cider, it's time to close shop and get on with the show. Where are you going to go, Clay asks. Maybe nowhere, unless they start messing with Jack Daniels too, Wyatt says. Got any cider donuts, Clay asks. No, says Wyatt. Got stacks of C4 and a bunch of fuses. You game? Thank you.